need to be discussed or addressed immediately. But otherwise, when all facts have been gathered, you need to draft a formal communication and communicate with the right people. And then where is this done? It's done in the workplace, not in the street or not outside when we are having fun. It needs to be done where it is safe to share such information. Why is it done? Remember, the main purpose is to ensure safety of the employees or workers, and also to improve the quality of production. I know many people would disagree because people often just continue with production without considering health and safety. And then again, for legislative purposes, the law expects us to work within healthy and safe environments. How is it performed, this communication? There are various channels that are usually used. It may be verbally, what has been compiled, it's written, and it's shared formally with the management and with an expectation that actions will be taken. How much needs to be communicated? Like we've said in the past, enough. You can't share too little, you can't share too much. It needs to be structured to be able to enable responsible people to come up with actions. On the next slide, Doc, we talk about our control management framework, risk management framework. We introduced you to our hierarchy of controls. And in this, we have 5 different controls that guide us in terms of addressing the hazards or risks in the workplace. And they are called hierarchy because we follow a certain pattern, and they are drafted according to their most effectiveness to the one that is the least effective. We said that elimination is the most effective control measure, followed by substitution, followed by engineering controls. Is now a noise zone because probably there's a new machine that has been introduced into the area. So you always have to consider the possibility that there is something that could have changed within the environment. In terms of the execution, the law says anything that is louder than 85 decibels, and by simple description, when you are in the noise environment and you cannot hear each other communicate, you need to know that the noise levels may be higher than recommended, and there is a limit to exposure at this noise level. The limit is that at 85 decibels, the maximum that you can spend within that environment is 8 hours. And the higher you go, the shorter the time span you can spend in there. So meaning at around 105 decibels, you're not allowed to spend 8 hours in that environment. You need to spend much, much, much less. So safety environments are designed according to these requirements and the legislation. When you do your execution, often that's when you walk into the work environment, you'll use your ears to listen. You will hear where it is louder, where it's difficult to communicate with other people. For an example, people that you're conducting the risk assessment with, if you are unable to communicate with them, that's a sign there. And that it might be louder than 85 decibels. And one of your recommendations will be to order, if it hasn't been done, order an occupational hygiene survey to quantitatively measure the level of noise. And then from there, you'll grade your risk using the framework that we have outlined earlier. In terms of loudness and intensity, noise is graded in terms of frequency and intensity. Intensity is loudness. Obviously, a high frequent noise, which is very loud, will score very high on our risk matrix. And elements such as failure to comply to certain requirements, such as PPE or wearing of hearing protection devices, may increase the risk grading, even though the risk is generally under control. So if health and safety team says that noise levels are under control here because we have certain controls in